Hello, everyone, and welcome to Questionable Luck, where we give you free and current sports bets from a rather questionable group of avid sports goers. I am Taylor Stahl.
I'm Carson Marsh.
Sebastian Atashi.
And we had a couple rough games yesterday.
I can hear
USC with the L against Gonzaga and UCLA with the dub against Michigan. It's like a W upside down. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Back the pack?
Like my jokes, I get it.
Thoughts?
No, we're not back in the pack anymore.
Thoughts?
We're doing the opposite. Fuck
I honestly still want to back the pack. This is so huge for them.
What a great game. I'll say unbiased. Great win for UCLA. Yeah. They deserved it.
They did.
I hate Hunter Dickinson. They kept giving him the ball. Michigan. He cannot use his right hand. 7'1". Just going back to the left. Stop missing layups. Just come on.
But how is Tyga supposed to match up with this big-ass Gonzaga squad is my question.
He's good. I mean, hey, he's good. They obviously are an inferior team like USC was.
Gonzaga's minus 1,200.
Gonzaga is unbelievably good. They're unbelievably good. But UCLA, man, they just keep figuring out a way. It might be them.
I mean, they're plus 14 against Gonzaga this week. Well, okay, for one thing, I feel like we wouldn't be doing any justice to the last show if we don't talk a little bit about USC Gonzaga.
Yeah, we went into it with a lot of hype, a lot of spirit, a lot of fighting on situations. However, it was a blowout, unfortunately. It was like a steady blowout the entire game.
Domination.
To the end. It was a domination for sure. We had a lot of hope going into it. Got a little sad.
Got a little ahead of ourselves. I mean, when you start a game with like 4 or 5 consecutive turnovers,
it's not a good start.
And then you can't even transition to defense when Tim is running down the field, or running down the court, I should say. You know, it was tough. It was a tough day. I will say though, claps for us to get that far. I mean,
right.
Danny Enfield deserves the praise. It just seemed like some of the guys quit on the team. I mean, Dom Tooney, the best.
I think you guys are disrespecting Gonzaga a little bit and how good they are. They are
it's not disrespect. We were so excited that we made it that far.
Not even on purpose, but just like by like. If USC played their best game, they probably still would have lost.
Yeah, they wouldn't have lost by 20.
It was only 19. It was only 19, yeah.
Only 19. Oklahoma lost by 14.
Well, that game was also a blowout. Yeah. I mean, Gonzaga should be blowing out UCLA. I hope it's Gonzaga Baylor. I seriously do. I also have Baylor winning it in my bracket, so I'm hoping for that. But I think is the best game. The two best teams left. Why wouldn't you want to see that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
The question is Gonzaga going to steamroll the next two opponents?
I don't know.
Part of me thinks UCLA covers, but a big part of me thought USC was going to cover too, and I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
I also thought Michigan was going to cover. They lost.
They had their chances too.
They had plenty of chances.
Yeah, just like Alabama did from the free throw line. They had their chances. UCLA has some. They have a deal going with the basketball gods or some shit.
Also, what an under. Was it 50 to 49 or 51 to 49?
Also,
it was an 135 total.
I think the under hit in the
USC game. Yeah, it was at 152. I think it went to 146 or something. But it was funny. The live line stayed pretty consistent the whole game, but I also saw a live total was 86.5 for Gonzaga that I wanted to smack, but I figured it would go against my +9 bet. I don't have that one a slow second half. So, I mean, they looked more like a beatable team in the second half. It was just way too late for USC. So,
how they looked in the first half is like,
yeah. USC really couldn't advance the ball to offense without their.
It honestly was. I felt bad for the guys. Honestly, it was. Yeah, I don't.
It was not a. Wasn't
hey, great season. I know you guys saw all the stories, the Instagrams of UCLA going crazy after their win. That had to hurt a little bit, I'm sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why, Taylor, you cannot back the pack.
Okay, but as much as I hate UCLA with all of my heart, that's still so sick that a Pac-12 team is in the Final Four. Like, it's still so badass that they beat Michigan last night like that. And, like, they're literally playing Gonzaga again in the Final Four. And, like, Gonzaga's only been in the Final Four once. And UCLA is, like...
You guys better hope that that UCLA loses by more than 19.
I want them to get absolutely smoked tonight, but
they're not going to lose by more than
Saturday at 2
It's not tonight. Sorry. Sorry.
In my opinion, I just think that
I'm ready.
UCLA is going to be able to keep up with the pace of Gonzaga. I don't think USC had a chance after the first couple possessions. It was evident that USC is a team that likes to slow it down. They like to body people defensively. They feed Evan Mobley. They took Evan Mobley out of the paint, for one thing. We could not play with them on transition defense. They were scoring in 3 seconds. UCLA is a fast team. And also, we beat UCLA by like a buzzer beater. So the fact that the spread is plus 14 or whatever it is, plus 13.5 for UCLA, whereas maybe they're a worse team and we're plus 9. But I don't know if that's evident. This is a team that's made the Final Four. The momentum is swinging for them. I'm not going to say they're going to win that game because they're not. But I think plus 14 is a realistic spread they could cover.
I just don't know if they have the guys other than Juzang to consistently. And Jaquez, he can obviously score the ball really well. But, last night, Juzang did he have 30, 29 out of their 50 points? Against, that's
he's been going
loaded down.
Insane.
And that's what I'm saying. He's a bucket, no doubt. But
are
they going to have the other guys? Yeah, if Gonzaga can throw 2 guys at him, get the ball out of his hands.
It's done.
Besides Jaquez, who's going to, Tiger Campbell can get you 10 to 12 off some nice layups, some tough mid-range shots, but they're going to need guys to score the ball. Score the ball, and I don't know if they can.
As much as UCLA has right now, I don't see the game going any really that much differently than the USC Gonzaga game.
The thing with that game is that USC could have been in it if it wasn't for such a bad first half. I have not seen a lot of layups too. That was the worst 5 or 6 minutes of USC basketball I've ever watched in my entire life, and I think. There's a lot of weight.
Hard to pick that all the way back up the rest of the game.
And there's a lot of weight on these kids' shoulders going against the number 1 team in the Elite Eight. UCLA, after watching USC get blown up, there's no expectation for them to win.
No pressure.
There's no pressure at all, which is why I think they're going to play loose.
In the Pac-12, they already did it. Basically.
That's the thing. I feel like another team, if they're playing Baylor or something, Gonzaga is so different. I feel like it doesn't even matter. They really their defense, even if they come in a little lax, they just will score the basketball. They were looking perfect on offense yesterday.
They also had
the first half.
They had 3-point shooters open, literally.
They're getting a good shot, a patient shot too. While they get their transition buckets, they wait for the best shot. Jalen Suggs might have a look, gets into the paint, hits a floater. So I don't know. I just don't think UCLA has the talent. I really don't to cover.
They do a really good job of switching from zone to man. They would do it to USC, and USC just looked scrambled.
Yeah, they didn't know how to handle
it. And USC went with their zone, and they just put their best player, arguably, in the center of the zone, Jalen Suggs. Point guard, 6'6", big enough to create, to do whatever in there. So
that's probably the biggest matchup.
I don't know what they're going to do
between Suggs and Tiger. I think that Jalen is going to have so many open opportunities that it could go either. I still like the points. It's when would you have an elite or a Final Four team with this big of a spread?
Yeah. And
important to note, I have been cold with my bets in this tournament, except for the first round. First round was great, but other than that, I have been cold in this tournament. So take that with a grain of salt. But I'm gonna have to. It's do I lock that in as my questionable lock? I don't
know.
Woo!
I just have to tweet it when it gets closer to the day. We see how Juzang's ankle is doing.
Yeah, we have some time. What's the spread for Baylor Houston?
It's +5 for Houston. Houston also looked like the best rebounding team I've seen in this tournament last game. Granted, Oregon State wasn't hitting the shots they usually hit, but I have Gonzaga, Houston in my bracket. I have Houston winning. I don't know. That was me talking before the tournament. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to take Houston +5 just for the benefit of my bracket. But, they can play Baylor close. It would be interesting to see what the spread would be like between, I feel like Baylor is a better team, but if Baylor does win and they play Gonzaga, what that spread would be. I feel like it would be 6 or 7.
I don't know. I think if that happened, I would think they would only put it 4 or something. Baylor +4.
Yeah,
I think that Houston is very good, and they have length, they have athleticism, like we saw on the offensive glass. But if Quentin Grimes and only 5 of 16. Duran Giroux, they have a tough shooting night. And Baylor, we've seen they have the guards to lock up anybody. Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler, those fools get into people. They know what to do. They can score the ball one-on-one as well. So I think Baylor is just a little too good for anybody except Gonzaga, and that's why I have them playing each other in the finals on Monday.
But are you taking -5?
The thing about college -5 is that I feel like even if it's a really close game, like let's say it's 1 or 2 the whole game, Houston might foul, and I think it could cover anyway. And I do think Baylor's going to win. So that might have to be my questionable lock of the week. I think Baylor's just their guards are too good. They have too many guys that can score the ball in these one-on-one like end game situations to lose to Houston. But if Quentin Grimes goes for 30, the rest of their team is hitting shots, Houston can lock up. We've seen it. So -5. I'll lock that in as my questionable lock. I'll take Baylor. If it drops to 4, maybe I buy a point, go for -5.
It might drop to 4.5. I could see that. Tay, who you got this one?
I mean, I think as much as I agree with you, Cars, I think I just want to see Baylor and Gonzaga at this point. Like, I want to see a gnarly championship with the best teams. Like, as much as UCLA, it would be cool, to see it. Now that USC's out, I really could not care less about the Pac-12 going. Like, it's cool that they're there, but they're not the better team. Everyone knows that. So I don't necessarily think that they deserve to be there. And I don't know about Houston. I think Baylor is a better team, but it would be, it would just, I don't know. I think it's going to be Baylor and Gonzaga for sure.
I think Gonzaga would blow out Houston. Also.
I think they would too. That's why I don't want to go for Houston because that wouldn't be a fun championship game to watch.
I mean, it's good of you to root for the best game because we could use a little bit more of that in the NBA right now. But
but on the topic of college, I just want to bring up. I don't know how to pronounce her name. What's Paige Becker?
Go,
dude. Unreal. I don't even know what to say about her. She got something of the week or something of the year.
National Player of the Year. I think she's first freshman.
We're talking about Baylor UConn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not even talk about the end of that game. That was the most blatant foul I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, I honestly agree. No, I agree that was a foul. I agree. It was a bad possession. Apparently, they hadn't been calling it like that the whole game. So they had been letting him play. So that kind of factors into it. But those pictures are tough, man.
Yeah, the pictures are tough. You should have seen it live.
Those pictures are tough.
There's two hands going straight into the shot. The pictures
obviously look worse than how it looked when it happened.
Those pictures make it look.
She drove and drew the contact, which is fine, but you can't move on.
Shout out Natalia Bryant. Just got into USC.
Oh yeah, honestly, right on for that.
Right on, for sure.
That's great.
That's a good news for USC right now, other than that pace of
basketball school. In a swathe of bad news for the program, but
right.
Be interesting to see if Andy can rally his troops for next year. I mean, not really any super notable recruits coming in. Obviously,
who's coming back? Who's leaving?
Maybe Isaiah. Probably Isaiah. I think Evan is very league bound. It is cool though to see Jalen and Evan on the same court. I mean, Jalen definitely got the best of them, but
yeah,
you can just kind of see. I feel like when you have two elite prospects, that you just
Evan started cooking a little bit in the second half. He was going to work.
Yeah. But I think Andy's got to work on his team's free throws. I mean, you can't how he got so far without being able to hit over 60% of the free throws. Actually, ridiculous. But overall, good season. I give the boys an A+ as far as for how far we went. A little disappointing finish, but hey, it's Gonzaga.
Yeah,
if I can throw 100,000.
That's tough. You had to play Gonzaga because you could have beat Michigan. I think you guys could have hung with any other team.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate.
Coming into the tournament, I think Gonzaga was a +300 favorite to win, +280. And looking back, I'm like, wow, what a questionable lock. But I mean, if I could throw 100,000 and -1,200 for this UCLA Gonzaga game, I would, because Gonzaga.
There's no
for those people who haven't seen Gonzaga play, it is probably the best college basketball team I've ever seen play. I maybe there's another that comes to mind, but
they are crazy with they just always get a good shot. Seriously, the best shot possible, they always find it somehow.
I want to know why they haven't won this then.
because they've always had like a lot of talent. You know, they only been to championship once, so lost North Carolina. But having Jalen Suggs, that like I said, that 5-star, one and done point guard with the ball, and like, you know, we've seen he's legit. He's the real deal. So having that, they don't usually have that. That makes a huge difference in these big moments. And they have the best shooter in the nation, Corey Kispert. Drew Timme was given all the most USC players some trouble yesterday. So they just, you know, it just worked out like that. They got players clicking at the right time, you know, and Jalen Suggs, like, just makes this team that much more dominant, makes them that much more unbeatable.
I mean, for having as talented of a program, they've always had like such a great reputation. I've always known like as good, whether I'm in the basketball like world or not, like I've always known them as being like one of the top. So I feel like if any team deserves to win this, it's like finally them. And so I definitely love to see them take this.
No undefeated team has ever won it. So
besides Indiana.
Yeah, what, back in the day though?
1976. Hoosier.
Yeah, that's back in the day.
Hoosier
land. Do you guys think they do it though? I think they do.
I think they do.
I don't know how they don't.
You seem pretty confident with Baylor.
I do. Well, yeah, I have them in my bracket. I think Baylor can beat them. That is like, when I think of that game, that's like almost an NBA game to me, just because the way, you know, the thing about college is these teams can't score the ball as well, you know, and it's very noticeable. The Michigan UCLA game, man, 50-49, that's a halftime score. And Baylor and Gonzaga will do it. That Baylor first half against Arkansas was beautiful, beautiful basketball. So I think Gonzaga is the best team left, the most talented, the best all-around team, the way they lock up. But Baylor has two of the best guards left, and we know that makes a difference. They got shooters around them. They don't have as dominant of bigs as Gonzaga, but anything can happen in the one-game scenario, and I think that Baylor is one of the teams that has the talent, the only team left that has the talent to beat Gonzaga in that one-game type situation.
So would you be high to take the under on UCLA Gonzaga? Because I think that over goes. I think it goes over.
What's the over?
What is it? What is it?
I think it's 142.
The only thing about that is Gonzaga might win like 80-50.
Yeah.
Low key. But
I still think that UCLA,
yeah, that's pretty low for Gonzaga. You're right.
USC and Gonzaga, they were 1 point under the, like, I was literally like, remember when we were talking about the over and it was such a high scoring game? It was like an NBA game and people were like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
For college, they were 1 point away from hitting the over. Like, and that was like a super high scoring game, and then UCLA plays Michigan and they like score 0 points.
It was like, what? Like no one scored.
Chuzang had half both teams' points.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's 145. 145.
So I think you would be absolutely high to take the over on Gonzaga UCLA. I think it's gonna.
See, I thought you would be high to take the under.
Well, I could see it. That's the thing. Like, I could see it being like 80 to 50, but I also don't think UCLA is going to lose by 30. So then it would be like the same score as it was against USC, which then would.
Which is exactly how I see it going.
Which would hit over then.
No. Oh yeah.
I think it would be high to take the under. I just don't think you can. You got to be smoking something to look at both those teams and say, oh yeah, like defensively. Well, maybe UCLA. If they really got locked up.
The same thing about the game yesterday. I feel like.
About the under hitting, but USC, I feel like.
About UCLA Michigan. Like, that was such a low scoring game, and I feel like people did not expect that.
I don't know if we talked about over
under. People definitely didn't expect, I feel like, that to go that low, but I think something can be said about. Yeah. Okay. You got me. That's that under. I mean,
just not even.
How the hell that under? I have no idea.
What was it out of 200? Barely?
It was one. Oh, they barely had 100.
What was it, 50?
It was 51 to 49, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I think the total was 135. What was the under? So.
I mean, I'd love
whoever took the under out of
UCLA Gonzaga hit the over. I would love to see it. That'd be a great game. But
I think it is going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be a better game than the SC game.
Oh, for sure. I see that.
Hopefully, I'm not like subconscious.
Actually, I don't know.
Guys. I agree, but then we suck. They're so good. Like, they're so good.
I'm gonna stick with my thing to where it's gonna. I think it's gonna be the same exact game, basically.
I agree. They're gonna get up like 17-20 early,
and just. keep it that way.
So we're fading the pack. All right, I'm down to fade the pack. Let's go.
It's Gonzaga. If Gonzaga loses, UCLA is goated. And I think they played really well yesterday to get that win, but this is just a change.
Yeah, imagine Houston, UCLA in a championship. It'd be crazy.
Throwback championship. If UCLA makes championship, Westwood, you guys should transfer, honestly.
Oh, okay. Mr. Gaucho, Mr. Creighton.
Hey, dude, had it, man. That could have been.
Okay, well, let's stop before we get ahead of ourselves here.
Baylor versus Houston, the over-under is 135. Seb, you're taking -5. I'm taking +5. I think
over-under 135.
It's 135. I like the over in that, too. I think it's a good game.
I would like the over in that.
Yeah, I think both teams are good defensively, but I think that Houston's going to have to score to keep up with Baylor. So, yeah, 70-60, around there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess we're all in unison about Gonzaga being champions, but we'll have to run this back after Saturday. I think the game is on Monday. Hopefully the overs hit, and we've got some – so your questionable lock was Baylor. My questionable lock is Houston +5.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Actually, screw it.
I think my questionable lock is Gonzaga.
It's Gonzaga. Well, okay.
-14.
That's not even a questionable lock.
-14.
But -14.
-14. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do -14.
Okay. And my questionable
I think
lock. I'm gonna do over,
at halftime they're gonna be at 20. I'm gonna be like, why didn't I take the points? Like, I should have known. This is So
I'm gonna do over in that game. I'm gonna stay away from that spread because part of me thinks UCLA could cover. And then part of me thinks you're a bad better. So,
So we will see. Make sure to tune in. Check out everything. Twitter.
Yeah,
hopefully these guys will be going crazy on the Twitter during the game. So definitely check it out. Check out the website, questionablelock.com. And we'll see you guys after the game on Saturday.